Hey guys, Rendakor here, back with some more matter science. I know I mentioned last time that we were going to take a look at automating viz production, but instead we're going to look at automating research for ThaumCraft. I've built a new Quaesitum, and what we're going to do this time is we're going to figure out how this thing interacts with BuildCraft, specifically with pipes, and where and how we can pipe stuff into it to sort of automate this process. So I've made, a couple chests that we're going to sort of scatter around it to sort of try to get some, whoops, that's actually not a good place, to try to get some inputs and outputs to and from this thing. So we're going to kind of go with my first guess here, and that would be if you come in from the side, it will probably produce, or put it here on the left. If you come in from the top, it should go up here, and if you pull out, it should pull out of here. So I'm going to set it up sort of like that and test that theory, and hopefully I'm right. That goes in there, and if I get this working correctly, then what I will be able to do is make an automatic sort of system using BuildCraft and Equivalent Exchange to produce infinite fragments, basically to conjure, say, cobble and paper and spit it into the Quaesitum, which would then make the fragments and then pull said fragments out and put them in a chest. So hopefully this works, because this would make this whole process a lot easier. We'll do this one first, from the left, pulling out, whoops, that's actually not the right way anyway, pulling cobble and see if it goes in there. And no, it goes into the fucking weird, that's silly. Okay, well let's try the top then. Because a lot of machines are strange and will only accept inputs from the top. And if it does, I don't know how we're going to get paper in there. Maybe I have to hope it's smart enough to put paper in its slot, or maybe I'll just have to auto-load or manually load that, with paper. That wouldn't be so bad because it doesn't burn through paper very fast. No, the top fucking puts it in that way. What the shit? God damn it. Okay, well, maybe the sides are specific. So we'll try coming in from a different direction. Whoops. On the bright side, we know that the top does do paper. Hell, maybe the bottom is input and the side is just strictly output. I could work with that. Yeah, it sure looks that way. Stupid shit. Okay, let's try inputting to the bottom. Excellent, there we go. That's the gimmick. So into the bottom, puts stuff in. Let's see if we can then pull fragments out. God damn it. God. Shit will not play nice. Guess we need to do up some research by hand. except this is going to take a goddamn year. No, we're not doing that. We will cheat the system. Think with science. All we have to do is pump something into this stupid fucking side, because it will take inputs that way. It just won't let me put them in by hand, which is very stupid, but... coming in from the side puts them in the output thing, and let's see if this pulls them back out. It does. Excellent. There we go. So now that I know how it works, it's just a matter of getting a prettier setup, and of course making things that will automatically generate the various bits we need here. So I'm going to go do that. Whoops, where's my axe? And once I get that setup done, I'm probably going to take a break from ThaumCraft for a little while, and move on and fuck around with some of the other mods. You know, maybe get a couple more power items from EE, and then go do some badass stuff. You know, make some cool shit. I've now got a perfect automated system for researching fragments. It's not very fast because it just uses cobble, as you see here. It only has a 3% success chance, but this will run forever and ever with no materials really lost in the process and requiring no input. This switch here turns the whole mechanism on and off, but it runs much better if you just leave it on, because you see the redstone engines are in the red, and that's what gets everything pumping sort of at the ideal speed. If you turn it off and turn it back on often, then the whole mess will go slower, and it will take a long time to ramp up to full capacity. But I'll walk you through sort of the whole process. It all starts right here, and what this is in the middle is an energy collector, and we'll click on this one. Whoops. This one here is easier to click on, but what this does is it takes light. I showed you one of these earlier. It takes light and it turns light into energy, so that's why the jack-o'-lanterns. And it spreads the energy by default to the energy condensers that are next to it. So by default, it shares the energy with whatever is adjacent. So this one is just powering this one right here, which is making diamonds. This one over here is powering all three of these. You see there's one in the front, one in the back, and one on the side. And what it's doing thus is it's splitting its energy between the three of them. So the first one here is producing cobble. And this produces cobble faster than the machine can sort of pull it out. So every once in a while, this you might need to empty, or the whole thing will just like not work and not do anything. And that feeds the cobble down into this pipe, which then comes back up here and into the Quaesitum. You have to come in from the bottom for it to go into the side slots, which is weird. If you come in from the sides, it'll put it in the output slot and it'll just sit there useless. So here's part one. So this makes the cobble, which feeds into here. Then over here we have one doing the same thing for paper. Now this one generates at a much slower rate because paper is worth 32 EMC, whereas cobble's only worth 1. So it takes 32 times as long to make paper as it does to make cobble, but that's not really a problem. And the paper feeds up into this pipe, which you see, and it pops into the top. Now, paper is only consumed when the Quaesitum actually researches something successfully. So it doesn't matter how fast you make paper, because basically you're not going to research as often as it's being produced. Now, you see that this is full, and it's been kind of full for a while. Anything that pops out, you see, let's get a good angle. Anything that doesn't fit in there will either pop out the top or the bottom, and it gets sucked up by that purple pipe you see right there. That's an obsidian pipe, and that sucks things up and it feeds them into this tube. Basically because if you just let it rot, you would be wasting EMC and the machine wouldn't be operating at full efficiency. So anything excess you see will get sucked up into this pipe, and this feeds back over into here. And this little doohickey is a diamond sorting pipe. You have cobble in the black part going down and paper going up. We'll do the cobble first. The cobble feeds down into this, and that's the whole reason why this diamond making one is here, so that we have something to do with the excess cobble. It just burns the EMC right back into the mix to making diamonds. It's not like I really need the diamonds, but the point here is that the cobble We can't get a perfect cobble producing ratio without like doing more shenanigans, so I just feed the runoff into here and turn it into diamonds because you can always use diamonds. So that's where the runoff cobble goes. For a while I had the paper running in here too, but I realized that was kind of dumb, so that's why the paper goes up top. And the paper goes up top and it follows this tube, and it comes around here into this new chest that I've moved around, which holds sugar and paper. So the old sugar from the sugar farm comes up here, and the paper comes from over there, and they flow together into one chest. So this way I've got the sugar coming from the farm, and the paper coming, the runoff paper that is, from the whole Quaesitum research thing. And this way everything is saved and perfect and cool and efficient. Now the one last sort of aspect of it is this wooden pipe on the end. And what this does is it pulls out any successful research scrolls. So whenever it does pull out a fragment, it'll come into this pipe, which will go down here, and you see kind of over there, that pipe just pops up into this chest right here. Like, see? So any scrolls we get, any fragments will come in here, and thus the whole system is perfect. Now, you see I'm missing most of my stuff. I left the fragments and the artifacts in here, and I just gave most of the other stuff their own chest. So this is stuff that is for ThaumCraft, but I don't really have a use for. Over here we have a separate one for Viz crystals, and a separate one for ThaumCrafted things, that is, things that I've personally made with ThaumCraft. So yeah, we now have infinite fragment research, and I can go do, you know, whatever I want, and then come back and just have a ton of fragments to play around with. And I still left the one Quaesitum here within the bookshelves for, you know, optimal efficiency. This one's still kind of close to the bookshelves, but I think they don't provide a substantial increase until you get to like 6% efficiency, and we're not there yet. And I probably couldn't get there automatically without running a lot more energy condensers, because nothing else would produce fast enough to fill these up. And when you pipe stuff into here, it doesn't pipe evenly between the three. It will fill the top slot up before moving to the second slot, then it has to fill that slot up before moving to the third slot. So only something with an EMC of 1 really works here. Now that this whole system is complete, we are going to take a look at some BuildCraft stuff, get a quarry set up so we have even more automatic resource generation occurring. So, I'll see you guys next time.